Welcome everyone to Friday Night Young at Heart, featuring nursery rhymes, stories, songs, poems, Mother Goose, Aesop's fables, Lewis Carroll, limericks, larks, epics, stories of the great operas, and such, to keep us all young at heart. I'm Father James DeLucio, and I find it really is Friday night, and I'm recording a little earlier for those of you who want to get to bed early, as you wish. I have two wonderful poems by Emily Dickinson that appealed to the child in me, and perhaps in you. The first one is perhaps among her most well-known. You might even recite it with me. It's number 288, but you will recognize it by its opening line. I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody, too? Then there's a pair of us? Don't tell. They'll banish us, you know. How dreary to be somebody. How public, like a frog. To tell one's name the livelong June to an admiring bog. Fun. I've always loved it. And bog, I mean, stick in the muds. But if she wrote to tell one's name the livelong June to a admiring stick in the muds, not as good, not as poetic, but bog, that just bogs us down, or bogs them down. And to say the livelong June instead of the livelong day, oh my goodness, what an inspired poet, don't you think? All right, now the next poem is fascinating. You know how old houses intrigue children, especially perhaps in October and the oncoming Halloween, but other times too. They're mysterious. They're very, very old. You just kind of ponder who could possibly live there. What's it like to sneak in and see, especially if the house happens to be not only an old house, but owned by a very elderly couple who don't come out much and are barely seen. Have I piqued your interest? Well, Emily Dickinson does that with her opening lines. This one is number 289. I didn't look hard for it, did I? Okay. 289. I know some lonely house off the road, a Robert like the look of, wooden barred and windows hanging low, inviting to a portico where two could creep. One hand on the tools, the other peep to make sure all's asleep. Old-fashioned eyes, no easy to surprise. How orderly the kitchen'd look by night, with just a clock. But they could gag the tick, and mice won't bark, and so the walls don't tell. None will. A pair of spectacles ajar, just stir, an almanac's aware. Was it that Matt winked? Or a nervous star? The moon slides down the stair to see who's there. There's plunder. Where? Tankard or spoon? Earring or stone? A watch? Some ancient brooch to match the grandmamma stayed sleeping. There. Day rattles too, stealths slow. The sun has got as far as the third sycamore. Screams Chanticleer, "Who's there?" And echoes trains away, sneer, "Where?"
I don't know that one.
While the old couple, just astir, Fancy the sunrise left the door ajar. Did you follow me in that little tour of the old house? Or rather, did you follow Emily Dickinson? Because it's her vision so beautifully presented to us. Well, that is to help keep us young at heart this night. Feel safe, lock your door. But not before you invite your neighbors in for a cup of tea to share what young at heart can really be. Not in me, but in you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining me. And if you hadn't had a chance, I just moments ago ultimately recorded Luke Live Online, which also features an Emily Dickinson poem as commentary on Luke chapter 12, verses 54 to 56. Thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend. God bless everybody.